or Toria Hymans, aka Tori. Present. I'm here. Y'all, we are on day 3. You probably like, well, what was that little tidbit about? Well, y'all, I am here. I've had a long day. I will spare you all the details. It's been a great day, but it's been a long one. And so I'm like, Lord, help me out. Like I need, I need a little juice, little up. Like help me upbeat, okay? I don't want the folks falling asleep. I need you tuned in. All right. So welcome back to everyone that has been following our sweet November 30 days of manna. Y'all, have you been seeing anything? Has anything been happening so far in your life? I know we're on day 3, but hey, God can do, anything at any time, any place. Okay, he does not need time. Okay, that's not a factor for him. He can do it whenever. So let me know in the comments if anything if anything has taken place. I would love to hear it. For those that are new, that just decided to click like 30 days of manna, what's going on here? Let me see what they talking about. And you are definitely in for something that is good. I do ask that you would go back to day 1 to get an introduction, and that would kind of give you an idea of where we may be headed. Okay, but then again, I don't know, because sometimes we think we know where we're headed with things. We think we know the next step, and then God is like, there you go again, you just so I'm with it. Whatever God want me to do, whatever Holy Spirit want me to do, we are here, y'all. And I am not going to waste any more time. I am going to get into it. I am going to start off by reading Exodus. We are now on verses 4 and 5. Let's go. Well, I'll give you a few seconds. Let me get a sip of water. Pull it up on your phone. Get your Bible, tablet, laptop, etc. That's good water right there. Nice and warm. Or room temperature rather. All right, so by now you should have it. I am going to try to read aloud very clearly, okay? Exodus 16 verse 4. Then the Lord said to Moses, I will rain down bread from heaven for you. The people are to go out each day and gather enough for the day. In this way, I will test them and see whether they will follow my instructions. On the 6th day, we're now on verse 5. On the 6th day, they are to prepare what they bring in. And this is to be twice as much as they gather on the other days. Okay, so we've already talked about the beginning. Moses, Aaron has the people. They are on their journey, which most of us refer to this journey as the wilderness period, because literally, they're in the wilderness, but they are on their way to the promised land. They are on their way to the promises that God has made them. They just have to get there. And along the way, a series of events take place. Different things go on. And so we have been diving into that. We've dived into the word together, but I've been correlating this journey that the Israelites were on along with my journey. For those that may not have seen video 1 and 2 as of yet, I basically said that my life for the last 3 years has mirrored that of the Israelites in the wilderness, eating manna, receiving God's provision, protection, and headed into the promises of God, right? And so the things that stood out to me the most about these 2 verses, the first thing, when it says that God gave Moses the instructions that he was going to provide the bread, aka the manna, which, by the way, y'all, the manna, of course, it wasn't loaves of bread, coming down. Come on now. It wasn't raining bread, but they were more so flakes, like little flakes that appeared to be like dew, dew in the morning when the grass is wet. That's what it appeared to be. However, this was actually the flakes. This was actually the manna. These were the flakes. and the people had to prepare the manna. And from what I read, it's sweet. Like it's like a sweet, it was a sweet, light waffle type of bread. All right, from my understanding. So God provided this, right? Which leads me into the first thing. God, our provider, Jehovah-Jireh, and I do have my little notes here. Don't want to make sure I don't miss anything. But God is literally our provider, right? These people were complaining, they were mumbling, grumbling, and everything, every other word you can think of that is a synonym to complaining. Okay. They even got to the point where they said, you know what? This was on yesterday. We talked about it. They literally were like, okay, we should have just went back where we came from. At least we knew we would have been eating good. And we talked about that. We talked about food, like getting so caught up in, the good things that we used to have or what we thought was the good thing that we can't even comprehend where God is trying to take us, just some food. It really don't make sense at all. And so now they getting these flakes. They have to prepare the meals and they just, still complaining. But nonetheless, God shows up and he is the provider, right? And so also it says that God wanted to test the people. So for those that don't think, God doesn't send test your way, he does and did and will. Okay, but he was testing the people and he wanted to see, why was he testing them? He wanted to see, one, if they were going to follow instructions, which is why I believe he didn't just drop bread down from heaven, because could he do it? You better believe he could. He could have just dropped down the loaf of bread, the croissant, the French toast bread. He could have baguettes. Okay, he could have dropped whatever he wanted and they could have literally just picked it up and ate it. But no, he wanted to see if they were going to follow these instructions, these strategic instructions that God gave them. And if you don't know, my Father, yours prayerfully, Father in heaven, he is a God of order, and instructions are everything, because we know that he has his commandments, his laws, his principles, precepts, everything that we are supposed to be following. Okay, we don't deviate from the things that are written in his word that he's telling us to do. So if he's giving these people instructions, or he's giving it to Moses and Aaron to give to the people, you better believe that he's watching to see who is following these instructions. Who is going to pass the test? Are you going to pass the test? Tori. Are you going to pass the test, right? And so, of course, y'all, I have to refer back to the story that I started off with you all about me, leaving my 9 to 5, because I believe that's what, and I still believe to this day, 3 years later, that is what God wanted me to do. And so I entered my wilderness period then, okay? And so when it comes to following instructions, when it comes to the test, I want to say, and I do not say this, I guess, what is the word that I'm proudly, I'll put it that way. So I'm like, okay, I found myself at home. Things didn't go. Remember, I had this checklist I had this plan, and things were not going according to plan. Just go ahead and rip that up, throw that in the trash. And so an opportunity came along. This was only maybe like a couple of months, maybe 1 or 2 months after I had left. An opportunity to make money came to me. And so while I was sure that I was supposed to leave, but like I said, the plan wasn't going the way I thought it was. Hence, the Israelites left, but things weren't going the way that they had in their mind that it was supposed to go. Help me, Father. And so this opportunity came to make money. It wasn't anything that I was used to doing. It was way out of my, anything close to my personality, anything close that I would probably ever do. But I'm like, you know what? Things aren't going the way that I wanted them to go, how I had them written down. Why not give it a shot? Why not? Okay. And I will save you all and spare you all the long story, but let's just say that didn't work either. When I say that I pretty much was seeing the money that I had taken with me, like that was starting to go down because I had gotten into something that, one, I never prayed and asked God about, like, Lord, okay, I left, things aren't going the way I thought they were going to go. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to, hop on this opportunity or fall back, respectfully decline? Like, no, thank you for the offer, but I can't do it. I never did that. I never once considered it. The only thing that was going on through my mind is things aren't going to as planned, and why not try it? Like, that's all I was thinking. Like, why not try it? What's the harm in trying it? This could turn out to be beneficial for me. Like I said, failed miserably. Okay, it just did not work. There were some other benefits to it, but that money, it was not one of them. Okay, so that's what I was thinking about too, making money and not having to delve into what I had taken from my previous job. So it did not work. And so for those, like I mentioned, those that may be going through their wilderness period right now, you may be at the point where you are trying to decide, okay, Lord, I know you told me to leave, but I feel like I need to go back because things are not working. I would tell you not to do it. And I want to tell you why I would tell you not to do it, because like I just said, if God told you to leave, unless he is now telling you to go back for whatever reason, don't even entertain it. Do not entertain it, okay? Because most likely you're going to find yourself going back, and who knows what's going to happen, if you go back to that. And there may be some that are considering getting into something like I did and not even including God, not asking him for his input, not asking him, is this the path or the route that you want me to go in? We are supposed to be, as children of God, yes, there are definitely things that he has given us the power, dominion, and authority to do, okay? And when he has given you instructions like this, it would be in your best interest to definitely still sit with him and ask him, do you want me to do this? Am I supposed to, join this organization? Am I supposed to be with this company? Am I supposed to do this? And if he does say do it, ask him, what is the assignment while I'm there? What am I doing while I am at this place? Because I know this isn't the finish. This isn't the ending, but this is something that I'm supposed to do along the way. And he will show you what you're supposed to be doing, if you're even supposed to be connected with whatever you're out there seeking and trying to do. Y'all, God was testing these people hard. He wanted to know if you would follow instructions. You are on your way to the promised land. You are on your way to the promises of God. And he wants to make sure that you are going to be a good steward. How do you know if people are going to be a good steward? Because when you bless them with something, when you give them something, you see how they take care of it. You see what they do with it. You see what comes out of it, right? Have you ever given somebody a gift and then you see that gift, whatever it may be, tangible thing it may be, you're like, Dad, you tore that up. Like, you didn't even take care of it. God, do you think he's going to trust you with the promises? And of course, some of the things may be tangible, but it's so many other things that he has promised us. And this is the testing period. Do you think he is going to give it to you if you can't follow these instructions? It is a period to be humbled, okay? To not be self-absorbed. To humble yourself. To be a servant of God. To do whatever it is that he's doing for you. And God did this for them daily. Meaning they couldn't just go out there and start grabbing all this stuff. Now we'll get to it. Now some of them did. It was in his word that some of them took, more than what they were supposed to, because they had a certain amount that they were supposed to take. And some of them took more, some actually took less. But God said, nonetheless, at the end, it all panned out to the same. Because he said, what you're not going to do, you didn't follow instructions. But let me tell you, this manna that I done sent to you straight from heaven, you think you getting ready to just mix that up in a bowl, put your eggs and your milk and everything like that. I know they didn't really deal with flour too much back then, because I read a lot of stuff where they said, without, unleavened bread, I think that's what it's called, without the flour and all that stuff. So they probably didn't have that part. But you think you're going to put your milk and your eggs and mix it in a bowl and cook it, bake it, and everything like that. You just think you just gonna have loads of manna. No. He said sufficient is for the day. Okay? I got you. This is telling him, or probably was telling him, they don't really trust me. You out here trying to bake bread like you trying to sell the bread. I told you to get enough for you and your family for y'all to eat for the day. I'm giving y'all quail in the evening, but you want to sit up here and make more than what you're supposed to make. God looks at that stuff. And I done told my part. Like, I definitely got into something I wasn't supposed to. And like I said, he probably was up there shaking his head like, look at her. Girl, did I tell you to do that? Look at you. You're wasting your money. Wasting your money. Nothing's coming out of it. And when I say nothing really did come out of it, like I said, there were some other, benefits to it as far as health-wise and physically. But other than that, that was it, honey. God said that's all you're going to get. All right. So I definitely learned my lesson along the way, y'all. If you are going through this season of your life, listen to God. If you are one of the ones like, but what is he saying? I don't know what to do. That was me too. All right. That should be your time where you really press in. I don't know what you have to do. I don't know if you got to get in your room, the bathroom, the closet, wherever you can by yourself in the corner, and like, look, God, like, have a talk. And when I say have a talk, I mean talk like I am talking now, with respect, but have a talk like, look, God, I left. I know you told me to left, but I absolutely don't know what the next step is. At least show me the next step. What am I supposed to do next? Because I don't want to be out of order. I don't want to take the next step only to take 10 back, as they say. I want to make sure that you are ordering my steps, the steps of a good man. And of course, they were referring to women as well, are ordered by the Lord. Okay. My people bow before me and they take instructions. Okay. So you need to seek him, ask him what the next step is. And I know without a doubt that he is going to meet you there when you take the step. Y'all, cut out the complaining, cut out the murmuring. It's just not going to do you no good. Okay. And trust that God is going to literally show up every day. I'm trusting him now. I am living proof. How does that song go? I love it. That I've heard before on TikTok. I'm living proof. Y'all, never mind the vocals or lack thereof. But I am living proof. I am in it now. We are doing 30 days of manna. Back in September, God told me 30 days of manna, sweet November. And your girl thought she was going to be laid back like this, receiving gifts. Maybe not tangible, but just like being in the position to receive it. And although those things are definitely coming, he said, no, I got something for you to do. I want you to teach on that, because that has been your life. And we are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. This is going to bless somebody. This is going to help the people that come across this. And perhaps somebody that is, they're starting their wilderness period. Maybe it's you, or they're currently in it. And maybe you need to know that somebody else has gone through it. We get in these things sometimes in life, periods and stages in life, and we think we are the only one out of all these people on the earth that are experiencing this thing, or that we're going through. You are not. I am here today to let you know you are not by yourself. I have been there. I'm giving you my testimony that he is going to do it. When I say God has provided for me like none other, okay? So much so that I will not be quick to just go out and do something else or do something on my own, because he has provided for me so much. Like, he has proven himself to be true, although he does not owe me anything at all. Okay, when I say he doesn't, he's doing it by his grace and mercy. Okay, and because he's keeping his promises that he made, that's why he's doing it. And so I gave him my yes. And when I say, y'all, he is blessing me already. I'm not even done with the 30 days. We're only on day 3. But even before doing this, he was already blessing me. He took care of me way better than Sorry, well, not even sorry to say. I take that back, Lord. I do not say sorry, but he's taking care of me way better than what a company and an organization could ever. They could never. They don't even compare. Health insurance. What? He the God that heals. What? And keeps you and sustains you. 2 promotions. He does the promoting. He elevates you. They're not doing anything that he didn't create. Pass the test. Remember that God is your provider every single day. Every day. And if you ever feel like he's not there, call on Jehovah-Jireh, the God that provides. Call on him and see if he doesn't answer. He will. Ask me how I know. Because he's done it for me. He's been doing it for me literally all my life. But it's been highlighted even more the last 3 years of my life. Y'all, this is day 3 of Sweet November. 30 days of manna. And I want to close with this. I'm sorry, I have one more scripture that I want to read. It's actually 3, but it won't take long. It's coming from Deuteronomy 8, verses 2 and 3. But I actually want to include 1 because it'll all come together. Bear with me 1 second. And it's titled, Do Not Forget the Lord. Be careful to follow every command I am giving you today, so that you may live and increase and may enter and possess the land that the Lord promised on an oath to your ancestors. Didn't I just tell y'all he's not doing it because, oh, that's Tory. Like, no, all the stuff that I didn't, what? No, grace and mercy, and because of the promises that he made. He's keeping his promise. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, okay? Whether or not you would keep his commands. And he humbled you. He caused you to hunger, and then feeding you with manna, the bread from heaven, which neither you nor your ancestors had known, to teach you that man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Every word out of this Bible, out of his Bible, that proceeds from the word of God, from the mouth of God. That's what he was teaching them. It's not about that stew and that beef that you had while you was locked up, like while you were in captivity. Tori, is not about, all the money that you were making or the availability of all this money that you could have made. Clocking and calculating hours. It's not about that. And sometimes, y'all, it still won't even enough, to be honest. It's not about that health insurance, but it's about your heart. It's about the position of your heart. You told me yes. So are you going to follow through on your yes? Or was you just talking? Because see, there's a lot of people that like to talk, as they say, a good game, but then they don't follow up. The actions look totally different than someone who believes what God says. And we can't do that. We can't do that. He won't allow it. Ask him to search your heart tonight. What's in your heart? Ask him to search it. Lord, search my heart. Remove any pieces that's not like you. Anything that does not represent you. Anything that goes against your word, your will, your way. Remove it, no matter what it is. And sometimes we know what those things are, and you just got to have your moment of honesty and call it out. And then sometimes we don't know. So we need him to search and remove anything that he finds, okay? And replace it with the heart of flesh. And ask him to renew your mind. You should be doing that daily. As a man thinketh, so is he. Thoughts in your heart. Your heart produces those things. And then it's in your mind. All right, so share this live, y'all. This is day 3 again. Share this live with somebody that you think needs to hear it, somebody that you love, your family, your friends, close one, close knit, however, whoever the Lord, is pressing upon your heart to share with. Just go ahead and share it out. And as I always ask, make sure you drop some comments below. Let me know what you are thinking so far. We are on day 3. Has anything specifically resonated with you? Are you decreeing your 30 days of manna? Don't forget to do that as well. You should be decreeing 30 days of manna all this month and for the rest of the year, as a matter of fact, if that's how you feel. Because let me tell you one thing for sure. That sounded a little country when I did that. I think because I was going to say something else. But let me tell you one thing for sure. When God told me 30 days of manna, sweet November, I know that was not just for me. It was not just for me. Okay? So I say that to say you can decree 30 days of manna for your life and watch God move. All right? As always, y'all be blessed, be encouraged, and I'll be back for day 4 on tomorrow.